Hi, and welcome to Here and There. I'm Jeff Matthews. Joining me this month is a fascinating woman in our community, Leona Walton. We'll visit with her about the history of the Pine Street community, her time in school there, and her memories of the integration with Conway schools. Also, Leo Cummings III stops by to visit about Conway and his love of his hometown, and we'll spend some time visiting with him about his new podcast. And finally, Stephanie Brazil from 501 Life magazine joins us to preview the February issue of their magazine. That's all coming up on Here and There.
You've arrived at your destination.
Here and There continues now, and I'm so excited to be joined by Leona Walton. She is with us to really talk about a lot of stuff. In fact, I don't even know what we're going to talk about. Do you know what we're going to talk about?
Well, let's start with the Pine Street Museum.
I
Let's
would
start
love
there. Let's
to
start
start
there.
with that. My friend and boss, Crystal Kemp, when she told me we should have you on, she said, you got to talk about the Pine Street Museum. So a great place to start.
Great.
Where is it, first of all?
It is Pine Street Museum is located at 1270 Factory Street here
1270
in
Factory.
Conway,
Okay.
right across the street from where the school actually stood.
Okay.
This is a school that was here doing segregation, where all the black kids went before integration came about.
Okay.
So it's ironically, it's located in a old police station,
Is
old
it?
substation.
Okay.
And we were able to work with the city of Conway and lease that building so we could put our displays where anybody could come by and see. We were established, started getting ready about 2018. Took us a little while. Actually, it didn't take us. I was not part of it.
Took them.
Reverend Wayne Hoskins said God put it on his heart to display the rich heritage of the Pine Street area. That was where most of the concentration of black people in the city lived.
Okay.
And that's on the east side of the track, because we couldn't come on the west side of the track. So it was on the east side of the track. And we were there. We had a junior high. It was first through 12th graders.
Okay.
Had great teachers, great principals. What we did when I attended school, what we did on the weekend that got us in trouble on Monday morning as well. So our teachers cared about not only our academic success, but they cared about our lives. They want us to be successful in this world. So I went through the 6th grade. In the 7th grade, I ended up at Conway Junior High.
Okay.
And most of the teachers were assigned to, I think we only had 3 elementary schools at that time. They were assigned to another elementary school, or most of them either went to whatever grade they were already teaching.
Okay.
So they were able to blend them in with the rest of the school.
Did I read that when the integration happened, that the transportation integration didn't necessarily happen?
Did not happen.
You walked to the junior high.
I live in the Pine Street area, still live in the Pine Street area, and we walked to school and back, rain, snow, sleet, whatever it was, until a couple of the parents got together, Mary Alice Morse and my mother, Helen Ticey, and Miss Lurleen Owens got together, and I believe they spoke with the school district about transportation, and we ended up getting the bus. But what was so ironic about that bus, when I got to the high school part, we might be sitting around over there at about 5 o'clock before a bus came to pick us up. We could walk home by then.
You could have been
If the weather was good, we just take off walking and go home. But, as I look back, we didn't die from it. We didn't, we made it, we persevered and got it through. So it wasn't separate and equal but equal wasn't true.
Yeah.
And together wasn't true either. Yeah. But nevertheless, I don't have any hard feelings behind it. I just know what happened because I lived it.
You were there.
I lived it, yes.
And a lot of people who have made a huge impact in our community came out of that community.
Of that school.
Absolutely.
We tried to, one of the visions, a vision of the museum is to preserve and display. A lot of people didn't even know we had segregation in Conway.
Yeah.
Had no idea where Pine Street was. No clue that we got books that had 8 names before we got it. So they're at least 8 years old when we got the books.
Yeah.
But our teachers made the best of everything, and there was never any complaining, and we just did what I know it. Again, I lived it. Lots of us did. We had our own yearbook. We had our own newspaper staff. We had FHA, Homemakers of America. We had, those books show those things. Bands, football team, basketball teams.
Yeah.
We had all of that.
So in the museum, For those of us who didn't live it but are interested in it, what are we going to find inside the museum?
You will find pictures. I have a room in there called Around the Neighborhood. You will find pictures of people that used to live. They're deceased. They're deceased now.
Yeah.
But we can walk around in there. I can point at every one of them and tell you a story about this person, that person. You will find displays of what we called our business district or entertainment district, which was Markham Street.
Okay.
We had Deluxe Diner where you could go get a great lunch. The Ebony Motel was there. As a matter of fact, Deluxe Diner and the Ebony Motel are both listed in the Green Book. I don't know if you're familiar with the Green Book, but the Green Book was published several years to pave a path for Black people traveling in the South.
Okay.
It told them where they could stay safely, where they
Yes.
could eat safely.
Okay.
And on Markham Street, the Ebony Motel and what we call the Deluxe Diner or the Golden Drag was his original name. Those two establishments were listed as a safe place where you could stop and don't worry about being harmed in our city.
When you were putting together the museum, and even as you continue to, was it difficult to find artifacts, or did people throw things away?
It's very difficult to find artifacts at first, but once you found a yearbook, I have the original, the very first yearbook, 47, 48. First graduating class from school was 1940, so they didn't have, it was 11 students. They didn't have yearbooks in the 40s, except for 47, 48, and then it went forward. The last year the school was open that had a graduating class was 1967.
Okay.
That's the last graduating class was 67. I stayed through 68. You could go, we got a choice. You could go if you wanted to, and if you didn't want to, you could stay at Pine Street.
Okay.
So I stayed because I wanted to till it closed down.
So from a timeline, historical perspective, if you've lived in Arkansas at all or you know American history, then we know what happened at Little Rock Central, but that was 57, correct?
Right.
So 10 years later, there's still segregation.
We're still segregation right here in Conway.
Okay.
And I cannot recall as a child, I'm born in 1956, so I wasn't, I don't have any memory of Central.
Sure.
But I don't recall any push to change it, push to not change it. We were happy at Pine Street. Some have even gone on to say that integration may have hurt us as a people. And I'm going to explain that it's because the love we had at school, we didn't get that love when we integrated.
Yeah.
We didn't feel the same type of love from the teachers and the staff and administration. So it's a little bit, we were removed. We could tell, you could tell, they really don't want us here.
Yeah.
But not everybody was that way.
Right,
Now
right.
I'll fix it. Not everybody was that way.
Part of the legacy of Pine Street is the backpack program.
It
that you
is,
have. So
it
tell me how
is.
that started. And, yeah.
One hot August, 16 years ago, we were working on our 17th year. Tim Esther and his wife Gina were giving away backpacks outside in the heat. My church, Pleasant Branch Baptist Church, purchased the property that still remains standing. They only tore down the high school building.
Okay.
They left the elementary building, they left the gym, and the rest of the property.
Okay.
Well, our church, Pleasant Branch, bought it. And my elementary building is still standing, still operating, still whatever. And we will let people use our building to have different functions. And Tim called me that day and said, hey, Miss Leona, I need to get out of this heat. We out here giving these backpacks away. I need to get out of this heat. And we were doing the same thing, giving away backpacks at our church. Okay. So I said, Tim, why don't we just partner?
Yeah.
Why do we have to be separate?
Right.
And that first year was an election year. Oh man, it was so many. We didn't have a clue what we were going to be having. We only did like 300 that year. I bet you I made 19,000 trips to Walmart. That's before we knew how to do it a little bit better.
Yeah.
So the next year we worked on pre-registration. You have to register in July.
Okay.
And tell me you're coming, what grade you're coming, what grade you're going to be in. We try to ask you if it's male or female, and this because some people boys might not want a pink backpack, and we just want to make people comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Right. Make them comfortable. So Tim and his wife, Esther Properties. I don't really know which way that went, but me and my son and my daughter, and a couple other people joined the board, and we have been doing this for we're working on our 17th year. We give away about 1,000 backpacks. We do have volunteers, and we're so grateful for them. We get together We buy all the supplies, stage them like we in Walmart, and I say, "Oh, you registered. Let me get you a backpack. Pick up the backpack. He in the 4th grade. Go get my 4th grade list. Fill it up with what they're asking for at the schools. To a degree, we don't do tissue and wipes. We don't do things. We do what we deem as necessary: paper, pencils, things like that, crayons, and we put it all together. And then that's on a Friday, and then Saturday, which is the 2nd weekend in August every year, we get together and we just give it all away.
Yeah.
So we do have a lot of participation in the police department. This year, Conway School District even joined us.
Oh, that's
I was
fantastic.
excited to see the superintendent and assistant superintendent Black there, and we were, some of the principals from the schools, they were meeting the kids that they're gonna have.
Yeah.
It was really exciting, really exciting.
Back one more question about the museum, because I want people who are watching and maybe learning about all this for the first time. We told them where it was. When is it open, and what does it cost to get in? Let me know so we can make some plans to come visit you.
Well, it's no cost to get in.
Okay.
We are a nonprofit.
Eliminate that excuse.
Yeah. We are a nonprofit. We exist on donations and grants.
Okay.
Right now, since we opened January 31st, 2020, COVID came in March.
Yeah.
So we were open regular hours, but we shut all that down, of course. Now it's by appointment only, 7 days a week. My number is available at 501-697-0930. Just tell me when you want to come, and I will be glad to do my best to accommodate you.
I'm sure you
We got
will.
lots of tours already scheduled in February.
That's wonderful. It is so good to meet you.
Good to be here, too.
I'm sorry I missed your call earlier.
That's I was at your door.
Well, thank you so much
Thank
for
you
this
for
and
having
for
me.
everything you've done.
Okay,
Appreciate
thank you so much.
Express yourself with beautiful custom jewelry from Brooks Fine Jewelry.
Come on down to Brooks Fine Jewelry and take a look at some of the new products that we offer. We have a new extensive line of men's watches, and we invite all those watch crazies out there that want to come in and take a look. They're here for you to look at and try on. As a full-service jewelry store, we offer hand engraving and laser engraving for just about anything you can imagine. So come on down to Brooks Fine Jewelry and visit with us. We look forward to seeing you.
Brooks Fine Jewelry, your jewelry makers in downtown Conway.
Here and There continues now with a familiar face. Leo Cummings III is with us, and I'm going to make sure I read this right. Bourbon connoisseur. Tell me when I get anything wrong, because I don't think I will.
All right.
Sneakerhead.
That's right.
Girl dad.
That's right.
Community promoter.
Yes.
Gym rat.
Yes.
All right, that's who you are.
Not as much the gym rat as of late, but yes.
Well, I'm glad you're with us.
Okay,
Thank you.
glad
We
to
wanted
be
to talk podcasting just about you. I know you and I have known each other for a while.
That's right.
Glad to have you on.
Thank you.
I think first things first is Conway. How did you get to Conway? Were you born here?
Born and raised.
Okay, so you're a Conway guy.
Ida Burns, actually a now defunct preschool called Ding Dong Campus, actually, to Conway High, to UCA, and all the things. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
nice. So where did the love of place come from? Just being here?
Just being here.
Yeah.
I've met a lot of people who've been in and out of Conway and lived all over. Some didn't have a place to call home, and some did and didn't love that place.
Yeah.
I think I was born here and just have grown an affinity for this place that I think a lot of people have. And now working for the chamber, like I get to kind of do that during my day job as well. So
Sure.
yeah, I love the state. I love Conway. I think it's a very special, unique place.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too. And so reading that in your little bio there about community promoter, I thought that's a great way to say that. And so thankful for the work that you and the chamber do. The reason we wanted to have you on was this whole idea of podcasting. This isn't the first podcast that you've done, the current version.
That's right.
So talk about how that became a thing for you.
Okay. Started a podcast called Black Dude, White Dude with Todd Kate, 7 or 8 years ago now.
Yeah.
Todd and I had a great run. We had 100 episodes.
Yeah.
That was really about just looking at perspectives from mine being black and him being white and kind of how we see the world. We began to have on guests and talk about a lot of things and have some unique conversations. It was time for that to sunset and turn the page. And I came back with a new podcast, Pull Up a Chair, as we have done here with Leo Cummings III. I have on guests from Central Arkansas and beyond.
Yeah.
And really it's focused on motivation. I think selfishly for me, I enjoy a good story and trying to unearth motivational bits and talk to motivational folks and even have motivational conversations on the podcast.
Yeah.
We've been going strong for a couple years now and not stopping anytime soon.
So tell me some of the episodes that come to mind when you think immediately, boy, that one, I really got something out of that.
Chris Jones. Chris
yeah,
Jones,
yeah.
an incredible human being. I love getting to hear him in his story and his aspirations, even beyond what didn't happen a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Officer Tommy Norman, North Little Rock. Such an inspirational guy, not only with what he does with his community policing, but also just some stuff he's had to overcome in his personal life. A guy named Clint Schaff, who's based out of, he's from LA, but based out of Bentonville now. And what he started, he literally started the podcast with the LA Times. Like he was the person who started those podcasts. So there's just some incredible people in our community, and I love to help tell that story and try to unearth some motivation from those.
And some really interesting people too, including the hula hooper.
Yes, Katie, hula hoop Katie, yeah,
Yes.
Just a neat thing, right?
Yes.
Like hula hooping is one of those things that like my girls do, right? And it's like hula hooping has taken her literally all over the world, right?
Yeah.
So that's just such a fascinating story for me. She lives here, right? She lives right here in Conway. I didn't even know that. I met her on social media. So I love getting to find those stories of people here and beyond and helping share their story.
What are some of the podcasts you listen to?
I listen to, you did mention Black Belt Voices.
Yeah.
I listen to that. I've been really guilty of listening to Smartless a lot lately. Have you listened to Smartless?
Oh, yeah, it's great.
Smartless is great. And now there's one that I'm blanking on. There are 4 or 5 that I listen to fairly consistently.
Yeah.
I love Brene Brown. Brene Brown does some great stuff as well. So, and those keep me, they challenge me, they kind of push me.
Yeah.
And I know I'm not in the leagues with the Brene Browns, but I mean, ideally that would be the case. But I love what I'm doing kind of on a smaller level and think that maybe one day I could be up there as well.
Yeah. My wife makes fun of me because I love to listen to podcasts as I go to sleep.
Okay.
But the problem is that I fall asleep. And so I've listened to the first episode of this Bass Reeves podcast.
Okay.
Like every day for like 2 months.
Okay.
I can't get through the first episode because I fall asleep.
Sure.
But then I know that I need to remember to, to listen to the rest of it.
It's not sinking in?
Oh, no, it sinks in. I just always start over.
Okay.
Every time.
Okay.
I don't pick up where I fall asleep because I
Okay.
don't know where I fell asleep.
Okay.
Anyway,
Okay.
I love it. I love
Okay.
history, and so
Good.
I need to make sure that I'm working yours in as well.
Okay. And
Not
hey,
when I'm not for the sleeping.
No. I
podcasts.
was hoping not. But listen, while we're here, I would love to have you on as well.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
I'll put you on the
I'd
spot
pull up
there
a
a little
chair
bit.
with
Would you do that? Okay,
Absolutely,
great. I would love to have that. I've been a
Thank
fan
you.
of yours for some time,
Well,
as a lot of
you're
people
kind.
have.
I
No, I'm
appreciate
serious.
that.
So I would love to have a conversation with you.
Yeah, let's do that sometime.
Okay, we'll make it happen.
All right. Well, now we've got plans to pull
That's
up
right.
another chair.
That's right. We're going to do it.
Leo, thank you for being with us,
Thanks,
and
Jeff.
I look forward to being with you.
Perfect. Thanks for
All right,
having me.
Very good.
Express yourself with beautiful custom jewelry from Brooks Fine Jewelry.
Come on down to Brooks Fine Jewelry and take a look at some of the new products that we offer. We have a new extensive line of men's watches, and we invite all those watch crazies out there that want to come in and take a look. They're here for you to look at and try on. As a full-service jewelry store, we offer hand engraving and laser engraving for just about anything you can imagine. So come on down to Brooks Fine Jewelry and visit with us. We look forward to seeing you.
Brooks Fine Jewelry, your jewelry makers in downtown Conway.
Here and There continues now. Stephanie Brazil from 501 Life is with us. She is the co-owner and the editor of the magazine, and we always love having her with us. That's no different this month, and we're talking about the February issue of the magazine. And on the cover, we're going to see some basketball players. But it's not just young basketball players. It's not just older basketball players. It's a little bit of both. Tell me the story about this.
This issue is themed senior health and wellness.
Okay.
So we have a lot of stories that anyone who is about seniorish and older is going to appreciate a lot of those articles. But we've also put into this magazine our 501 basketball team.
Okay.
We have 44 students, male and female, from around the region that we're honoring. These kids are not only spectacular on the court, but also off the court. They volunteer. They have good grades. Their teachers appreciate their attitude. So all of that goes into choosing them. But the seniors, we'll call them, that you see on the cover and within the pages, there's a lot of people who still pursue their passion of basketball as adults, and we have some teams in this area that go to the nationals and even win gold at the Senior Olympics. And that's a big deal because what I've learned about that, these are male and female teams, and what I've learned about that is that they may be playing against people who were in the WNBA, you know, the women are. The men could be playing against former professionals. So they have to be really good. We have that team here in Conway that won the gold this summer. So we've kind of put all that together to highlight no matter what your age, pursue your passions, have fun.
I love that. That's and speaking of the kids, One of the things I love about basketball is that it doesn't matter the size of the school. Footballs are generally bigger schools, but every school in the region basically has a basketball team, and so to get those kids some attention is really, really cool.
It
That's
is.
awesome.
It is. Those 1A schools,
Yes.
but those kids play hard
Oh.
and they deserve it.
And they
the
play
recognition.
a ton of games. They start their season early. So anyway, I'm glad we're going to get to learn more about them. Valentine's Day is this month. What is for our Valentine's Day dinner?
Well, I wanted to say, you know, a lot of people avoid restaurants on Valentine's Day because it's so busy. And so I wanted to ask you, if you had to cook at home for your wife, what would you fix for Valentine's Day?
My go-to, I'll make omelets. A
Good.
Valentine's Day omelet, maybe in the shape of a heart.
That would be a real challenge.
It would
I would
be.
have a knife cutting it into the shape of a heart.
That's, yeah, no, I don't know. You've
Well,
thrown
that's
me.
a great idea.
Omelets, breakfast for Valentine's Day dinner.
Well, Chef Don Bingham has another idea.
Or maybe I'll go with his
I'll
idea.
throw this out. It's a passionately pate charcuterie board.
Okay.
If you're not into pate, you can supplement that item with something else. But we have a beautiful photo and tell you how to put that together. Basically includes like pepperoni and salamis rolled into rosettes.
Okay.
And then you have pate, or you can supplement another dip and some crostinis and things you can dip into that.
Yeah.
Boiled shrimp, chocolates, of course, truffles, raspberries, strawberries. You just slice them in half and cut a notch at the top. They look like a heart. We tell you how to do all that in the magazine.
Okay.
So, and then he also gives a recipe for a chocolate regal heart torte. So this is a huge chocolate cake in the shape of a heart, and he even shaved chocolate on the top.
Of course he did.
He's amazing.
I mean, why wouldn't he? Nice. Okay, well, that's something to definitely look forward to as well. I love this story. The Chamber has done a lot with the toads that we see around town. There's the whimsical toad that we see at the corner right downtown at Toadsuck Square. So what's the story with that?
So we're focusing on the decorations on those toads,
Okay.
and you're right. Those are places that locals and tourists stop and take pictures and post them. So who decorates those for each season? Tipton and Hearst does that.
Did not know
They
that.
donate that to the community.
Okay.
So they have decorated them for Valentine's Day and encourage people to go out there and take photos and post those photos. So share them with the community. But also, when I was talking with Andrea Fournier over at Tipton and Hearst about Valentine's Day, she said, I just wish that people would order their flowers sooner, because the Super Bowl is Sunday, Valentine's Day is Wednesday, and a lot of guys wait until after the Super Bowl to order flowers. So they're like, we could run out.
Yeah.
So just don't forget your sweetheart.
Good reminder. Another story that's going to be in the magazine is one very close to our heart here at Conway Corp. Tilden Fulmer, who is the Fulmer family has been around Conway forever, but Tilden has been around Conway Corp for a long time, and he has retired, and there's a story about him.
Yes, he really deserves some acknowledgement, because I think we learned in the news a few years ago the importance of safe water.
Yes.
You know, we all saw nationally a community that was hit by unsafe water. For 44 years, he's been involved with keeping our water safe and has retired as the chief wastewater plant operator. So congratulations to him on retiring. We have a little story about him in there.
Very nice, very nice. The Conway League of Artists, they're celebrating, this is surprising to me, 50 years of supporting artists in the community. So what about these folks we need to know?
I think when you look around Conway at all the murals, the bronze statues we're talking about, so much art even on our roundabouts, why does this community care so much about art? I would give this organization a lot of credit. When you think 50 years they've been working to support artists, highlight them, they have competitions, they have ways that they can display their art. They meet at the library. We have all that information in case somebody wants to get involved, and just have a place to share your art and be supported. They are going to have some events in March, some public events, so we have all that information, but we are really proud of our Conway League of Artists.
Speaking of art, ties directly into the Daffodil Days Art Festival or Art Contest.
This is our annual art contest
Yeah.
that's open to kids from kindergarten through seniors, and they can do that by painting, drawing, photographs. So we have information about that. We hope that teachers of art will get involved with that, homeschool or public school. We don't care.
Yeah.
We love to see all the art, and we usually have 100 to 200 submissions, and we have a ceremony where we honor them and give awards. And so just want to put that on people's radar.
Absolutely. And so the website where they can get some more information there?
501lifemag.com.
All right. Thank you, Stephanie. Appreciate you.
Thank you.